All right, the latest on this investigation into that Texas church shooting. On the phone with us is Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. Mr. Attorney General, thank you for taking the time. What do you know about the assailant, about Tevin Kelly, and whether he had his sights set on this particular church simply because his mother-in-law went there, her mother went there, the mother-in-law wasn't there, the grandmother was, she's dead, obviously 25 others are as well. This church was a focus for him.
Yes, I mean, definitely the connection with his family, I think that played a part. Obviously, this is, since he's deceased, it's difficult to get inside somebody's head when they can't speak to you. But I think there's definitely clear that he was connected because of his family. I think he also found this an easy target because he knew that first responders were probably pretty far away, given that it was a small community and there was no local police department, it's just the sheriff's department. So I think he was playing on both of those factors.
General, do we know how he was able to get a gun when he failed to get a permit?
That is something that is being looked at right now. I don't think we have all of the information on that because I think given his history in the military and the fact that he had issues in the military and shouldn't have been able to get a gun, I don't think. I think that is an open question right now.
You know, in light of this latest mass shooting, you know, a lot of people are saying we've obviously got to take more precautionary measures. In New York last week, now they're putting up concrete dividers and blockades along what was a bicycle path that was unobstructed. I just had T.D. Jakes, of course, the best-selling author and bishop, who had been saying, you know, at his facility, of course, it's a large facility, thousands congregate there every week for services.
Right.
There's police protection. They check what you're bringing in, et cetera. That's a whole nother matter for small churches such as this one. But what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think we're going to have to pay a lot more attention to this because you know that this is going to happen again. And so, like, I go to a relatively large church in the Dallas area. We have security constantly there, even when services are not going on. But for smaller churches, and even smaller, you know, for schools and businesses, I think they need to think through their policies on what they're going to do if something like this occurs, and maybe have people in the congregation trained and prepared. Because if somebody's shooting an automatic weapon, you know, if you're in a rural area, it takes 20 minutes, or even if you're in a suburban area, 5 to 7 minutes, you're losing, you know, potentially hundreds of people pretty quickly.
You know, the reason why it's come up again, as you know, General, is that a lot of buildings in New York post 9/11, you need to pass through security to get in. You know, as unfathomable as it seemed prior to 9/11, now it's commonplace, certainly in big cities, certainly in Manhattan. I cannot imagine the next level would be locking churches or screening parishioners coming in, but maybe it's just a sign of the times, right?
Well, at the very least, you know, I think that could happen in some churches, but at the very least, I think you need to have a plan in place for what are you going to do if an incident like this occurs in your church, so that there's a possibility of at least mitigating loss.
Yeah. Another thing, and I just want your quick thoughts on it right now, is they're already looking at gun laws and the like. This does not appear to have been motivated by that or some slip up here, because he did find a way to get a gun, even though under existing laws, he failed a permit that would have allowed him to get one.
Yeah, and I don't really quite understand the argument here, given the fact that this guy was willing to violate laws that relate to killing people.
Yeah.
Having another gun law, I don't see how that would have impacted. All that does is impact law-abiding citizens from being able to protect themselves, and certainly that's our concern here, is we want law-abiding citizens to be able to protect themselves.
All right. Ken Paxton, Attorney General from Texas, which has had more than its share of grief and difficulties to deal with, from hurricanes to this. Thank you, sir, very, very much.